This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Hi, Flo. You said post-game yesterday that the team has to look at everything, and you didn't rule out possibly making major changes. Now that you've had 24 hours to decompress from the loss, have you decided on potentially making a big change on offense, or is the plan more so get by this week and then see if Tua's return later could help matters?
Yeah, I think we're still evaluating, everything: offense, defense, special teams, our operation, the way we practice. It's got to be better. We've got to do basically everything better. So still kind of evaluating some things. I don't expect any wholesale changes. If that's what you're asking. But we're still kind of going through the evaluation process, making the correction from yesterday, making those today. But you don't expect any wholesale changes.
Barry?
Brian, did you give any thought last night, or have you this morning, to changing who calls the plays, whether it's George or Charlie or another person who's doing it?
No. I think I like the system we have in place. Obviously, we haven't had, the success we want or the production that we're looking for. I like our process during the week. I like the way our preparation. I think we've had some good plans going in. We just haven't been able to execute, and we're not getting the results we want. So I think, from that standpoint, I think the collaboration and the preparation. It's not like I've gone into a game plan saying, "Oh, I don't like what we're doing." We just haven't been able to execute.
And then one quick follow: do Fuller and Byron Jones look like multi-week injuries? I know NFL Network just said Fuller has a broken finger.
Yeah, Fuller's going to be out at least this week. Again, still probably running some tests to see how quickly he can get back, or probably getting some more opinions on how quickly he can get back. But yeah, definitely out this week. And then Byron, that's more of a day-to-day. See how that goes. See if he's able to practice Wednesday.
Thank you.
Dave?
Yeah, Brian, to just follow up on what Barry said, does Charlie Fry have the final say in play calling?
Again, Charlie, I feel like we hit this every week. Charlie gets the call, gives it to the quarterback, and we do that so that he can give his last, watch this, watch that on the play. There's, again, collaboration, and he gets the call and gives it to the quarterback.
Omar?
Flo, I know we are watching the offensive line, all of them closely, but Austin Jackson seems like he's been struggling all season, and pretty much it carries over from training camp. Is there any thought to what can be done to address this, and any thought to possibly moving him inside to maybe left guard?
I think we're evaluating everything, Omar. And I think we're evaluating the what we're seeing on the offensive line, on the defensive line, on really across the board, and we're going to take a hard look at really everything we're doing to include the offensive line. We've made changes. Really, we've had to make changes due to injury or performance this year, and we'll continue to evaluate it, and if we feel like we need to make a change, we will.
In terms of, if I could follow up, I don't know if you still hear me.
I got you.
How most of your guys, they take that second year jump progression, or at least that has been the case. What is going on in your evaluation with the second year offensive lineman?
I think it's you know, I think these guys they work hard, and it's important to them. And I think they're doing everything they can to improve and get better. And I've seen improvement from each guy. I have, and there's some instances where we're not getting the consistency that we're looking for, but I've definitely seen improvement from each guy. I think what we're talking about is consistency from the players you're talking about on the offense line, whether it's Solomon, whether it's Austin, whether it's Rob Hunt, and that's something that we're still building towards. We're still developing players, but we need that consistency, and that's something that we harp on and we talk about really on a daily basis. We need that. We need it. We need it in game, and we need it sooner than later.
Tim?
Thank you. Brian, when you like what's going on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and presumably if you do, then the players feel like that's going well as well, and it doesn't translate to Sunday a couple of weeks in a row now, I guess how dangerous a time is this if players aren't getting the return on the investment that they think they deserve from good work on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
I think to answer that question, I think the return on the investment, I guess that's what you're asking.
Yes, sir.
To me, I think it's a lot of plays that we make in practice that we're not making in the game. We're not holding in the game in practice. We're not dropping balls in practice. We're not jumping off sides. And those plays that, really are the result of a lack of concentration, lack of focus. Like those are the ones that we're struggling with right now. I think if we did a better job with those, I think we would string together more drives. I think we would end more drives defensively. I think we would get better plays out of the kicking game. So I like the way we're preparing. It's not translating, I would say, not because the game plan is bad, but I think we're not executing.
Thank you.
Joe?
Hey, Flo. I wanted to check on Jakeem Grant and Raekwon Davis. On Jakeem, where is he in terms of, is he the clear top returner still at this time? And then also an update on Raekwon, if you could.
I think we're still evaluating all positions to include the returner position. Obviously, Jakeem struggled a bit yesterday. He's been very productive for a number of years, but struggled a bit yesterday. And we'll take a look at that position like we are at all positions. Do what we feel is best for the team. As far as Raekwon, he's making a lot of progress, and we're hopeful to see him this week.
Daniel?
Hey, Brian, I wanted to ask about Jaylen Phillips. We've seen him kind of be able to stack performances, and last week he got the most playing time to date. He didn't get as much snaps yesterday, but we did see him make an impact. Where have you seen him grown and improve the most, from training camp up till now?
I think he's playing with a lot more confidence the last couple of weeks. And I think that's the big piece here. He's playing fast. He's being aggressive. It's not perfect, but he's definitely playing with more confidence, and and he's playing better.
Hal?
Brian, I wanted to revisit the thing that we've seen the past couple of weeks of the offense being able to move the ball very late in games, but not up until that point. What did the film tell you in that regard as you watched it from this past game? And specifically, were there many occasions when you saw receivers open downfield that Jacoby just didn't take a shot? You mentioned post game there were some plays that you checked out of that were designed to take shots downfield. Do you have to do something as drastic as take away audibles in order to get those plays going?
I think after the game, we just talked about there were some shot plays that got checked down, not audible. But there were definitely some missed opportunities on some downfield shots. And, we got to take advantage of them. And that's really what it boils down to. We had a couple guys open. And, we missed those opportunities. So, we've got to execute better. And that means, getting the protection and, getting the ball downfield when the opportunity presents itself. I don't think we should force the ball down the field. And I think, if we need to check it down, we should, because that's the right play. But, right now, we're pushing it down the field late in the game because we have to, because we have to force it to get back into the game, and we're having some success there. We need to do a better job earlier in the game of finding ways to create explosive plays. And if the opportunities present themselves, we got to present themselves, and we've got to try to take advantage of them, which we have not done. And we'll continue to coach it and, try to create situations where we can do that.
David Lang, WPLG.
Hey, Flo. One of the hallmarks of your team so far in Miami they've been very disciplined and they don't beat themselves. So after every game, you've somewhat been saying lately that you put it on yourself, you got to coach them better. Is there something that you're doing differently this year, you think, upon evaluation, that you weren't doing before that might be leading to this?
You're right. We're not playing disciplined football. I think we're undisciplined. We're inconsistent right now. I would say we're putting as much emphasis as we have in the past on playing smart, disciplined football, trying to play penalty free. And we're just not getting that. And we've got to do a better job because it's costing us, chunk plays offensively like it did on the first drive, or extending drives defensively because we're getting penalties on third down, or it's costing us a kicking game as well. So the emphasis is always there. It always will be there. But, again, just because something was some way last year doesn't mean it's going to be that way this year. We've got every year's different. The coaching points are the same. The emphasis is the same, but the execution is not. And we'll continue to work on, playing more disciplined, playing more consistent football.
Is that something you can draw on, though, in the past where you were able to do it versus now where it's a difficulty? Is it something where you can look back and go, okay, these were my notes last year where it was working, and now I see I'm doing X different or Y different or whatever, specific factor it might be?
Yeah, we've and I've personally gone through that, and I'll continue to place an emphasis on it. I would say, if you're asking if I'm doing the exact same thing I did last year, the answer is yes. But look, every year is different, and every team is different, and I've got to find a different way of coaching it so that we're better
in
that area.
All right. Last two questions, Omar and then Travis. Go ahead, Omar.
Uh, this isn't a question, but I think if you can touch on that in terms of the difference, and I think we take it for granted that you're supposed to pick up right where you left off, even though it's a new roster, new schedule, new elements. And then also, can we get an update on Tua and his status? There's a report that he's going to be healthy and back for the Jacksonville game, and we just have not had you address that.
Tua's doing, I mean, he's working to get back as soon as he can. He's starting to throw a little bit. So, we're just taking this one day at a time. But I would say look, he's getting better every day. I forgot the first part of your question.
In terms of, I think, do we take it for granted that you can't just pick up where you left off in 2020 with a new roster, a new team, and new players?
I try not to take it for granted. Actually, I don't take it for granted. Every year's different. Every year's been different. Every year I've been in this league, every team's different. There's always different players on your team. Every year you're trying to just find the right formula or put the right pieces together on each team every year. Try to make it fit in a way that allows you to play good football. That's every year. Every year is a little bit different.
Last question, Travis.
Hey, Coach. I was looking at Jaylen Waddle's production splits by quarter, and his catches and yards go down by each quarter. And I was wondering if it's an emphasis to get it to him early, and if so, what has prevented that emphasis from continuing throughout all four quarters?
I think that speaks to our entire team. I think we've gotten off to some good starts, and we haven't been able to sustain it. That's something we've talked about for the last 3 weeks. We'll continue to talk about it. We've got to be more consistent. We've got to sustain drives really throughout better. Got to get off the field better. And I think, those stats kind of speak to that.
This is the Big O Show.